July massacre day is being observed today across Rangpur in remembrance of Abu Said, a leading figure in the 2024 movement who was killed in a police shooting during the protest. In the morning, the Minister for Liberation War Affairs, Ahmed Azam Khan, paid tribute by laying flowers at Abu Said's memorial in front of Begum Rokeya University, Rangpur. The minister described Abu Said as a symbol of Bangladesh's pride and said the government remains committed to ensuring justice in his killing. He vowed that those responsible for the killings during the July movement would face the full force of the law and that no one would be spared. He acknowledged that the judicial process may take time but emphasized that the government is determined to ensure accurate and comprehensive prosecution of the perpetrators. Prime Minister Tareq Rahman has described July 16 as an unforgettable turning point in the nation's history. In a post shared on his verified Facebook page on Thursday, the Prime Minister wrote that July 16 stands as a unique example of the unearned courage shown by students and the public in the face of state repression and deadly force. He added that the resistance awakened the conscience of the nation, referring to the image of martyr Abu Said standing fearlessly on the campus of Begum Rokeya University. The Prime Minister said it was not merely a defining moment, but a symbol of a deprived nation's triumph over fear. Home Minister Salahuddin Ahmed has said various groups are attempting to embrace the government. Speaking at a meeting at Secretariat on current national issues, the Home Minister said although the Ministry of Education has clarified its position, public suffering is being caused in the name of the ongoing movement. Responding to questions from journalists after his report aired on DBC News, Salahuddin Ahmed also said the Ministry of Home Affairs has no information indicating that Bangladeshi citizens have joined the Arakan army. However, he added that the matter could be looked into. Several border villages in Tahirpur Upazila of Sunamganj have been severely devastated by flash floods triggered by hill runoff. The strong currents have destroyed numerous homes. Vast stretches of cropland across the affected areas are now buried under thick layers of sand. In some fields, the sand deposits have reached nearly 1 foot deep. The sand carried by the floodwaters in rendering large areas of fertile farmland unusable. In addition to the damage of agricultural land, roads have been washed away, cutting off road communication in many parts of the area. The affected residents have called for government assistance to support recovery efforts. In a devastating road mishap, 2 local journalists have lost their lives after being brutally run over by a speeding bus in Dhaka's Uttara area. The victims were reportedly returning home on a motorcycle after enjoying the high-stakes Argentina-England World Cup semi-final match on a big screen. However, the fatal collision occurred past midnight near the busy Joshimuddin bus stand located in Sector 3 of the Uttara Highway. The unfortunate died on the spot before medical assistance could reach them. The deceased were identified as Sakibul Hassan of Shangbad Digonto and Robiul Alum Raju of Pranir Bangladesh, both serving as executive committee members of the Uttara Press Club. A devastating collision between a passenger bus and an ambulance in Pabna's Ataikola has left 3 people dead and 3 others injured. Higher police reported that the incident occurred in the morning when a body-carrying ambulance en route from the Rajshahi to Mohammadpur in Pabna, Shathia Upazila collided with a Dhaka-bound bus at Sodorganj, Koraitola in Ataikola, Pabna, Sodor. The ambulance driver Raj and a patient's relatives Bulu Khatun died on the spot. At least 4 others sustained critical injuries. The victims were rushed to Pabna General Hospital where another individual succumbed to their injuries. A truck driver has been killed and at least 10 others injured after a head-on collision between passenger bus and a truck in Nawaiganj, Upazila of Hobiganj. The accident occurred at around 1 a.m. on Wednesday on Dhaka-Sylhet Highway in front of a filling station in the Ashukandi area. According to police, a passenger bus traveling from Sylhet to Dhaka collided head-on with oncoming truck. The collision, which took place amid heavy rain while both vehicles were reportedly traveling at high speed, left the truck completely manipulated. Police said the truck driver died on the spot and injured were rescued and taken to different hospitals for treatment. A college student has been electrocuted to death while filming the celebration following Argentina's World Cup victory in Netrokona. The incident occurred in the early hours of the morning near the Shohid Minar intersection in the district town. According to local residents, people had gathered to organize a victory procession after Argentina's triumph. To capture photos and videos of the celebration, Dipto Chaudhuri climbed to the second floor of the showroom overlooking the intersection. While recording to the event, he accidentally came into contact with an electric wire and was electrocuted before falling in the ground with critical injuries. He was rushed to hospital where physicians declared him dead. International Crimes Tribunal's investigation agency has officially submitted its comprehensive probe report regarding the infamous 2013 Shapla Chottor massacre. The detailed report formally indicates 42 high-profile individuals, including ousted Prime Minister Tariq Sheikh Hasina and former top security officials. The submission follows an earlier announcement by Chief Prosecutor Aminul Islam, who confirmed that former tribunal trials are scheduled to commence on July 21. The case dates back to May 5, 2013, when Hifazat-e-Islam organized a massive rally in Motijhil demanding strict action against blasphemous bloggers, leading to widespread violence. Iran has launched a large-scale drone attack targeting a U.S. military base in Iraq. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has warned Tehran to remain cautious. International media reported that a series of Iranian drones struck the U.S. consulate and military facilities in Erbil, Iraq. Tehran says it is carrying out intensified attacks across the Middle East in response to what it describes as U.S. aggression. According to Kuwait's Ministry of Defense, its forces international and shot down more than 20 Iranian drones and 4 missiles. Responding firm to U.S. President Donald Trump's warning, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said Tehran is fully prepared to defend every inch of the country's territory. International crude oil prices have climbed for the fourth straight day, driven by growing fears of supply disruption through the strategic Strait of Hormuz amid escalating tensions in the Middle East. On Thursday, Brent crude futures rose by 0.4%, reaching $85.28 per barrel. Stimulously, West Texas Intermediate WTI crude went up by 0.5% to stand at $80.02 a barrel. This following a nearly 0.3% increase in both benchmarks on Wednesday. However, if the conflict intensifies, WTI crude prices could scale between $85 and $87 per dollar. At least 2 civilians have been killed and 9 others sustained severe injuries for a brutal Russian missile strike on the southeastern Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia. The relentlessly bombardment reduced a multi-story residential building to complete rubble, leaving local communities in deep mourning. However, heart-wrenching scenes emerged from the blast site as emergency rescue teams worked tirelessly around the clock to clear the debris. Distraught survivors accused the invading Russian forces to deliberately targeting innocent civilians out of pure frustration after failing to breach the city's frontline defense. The United States is set to impose new tariff on Brazil after prolonged negotiations failed to produce a resolution. The Trump administration has said decided a levy 25% tariff on nearly $150 billion worth of Brazilian imports. Under the new policy, more than 4,000 Brazilian products, including sugar and raw iron, will be affected. However, key exports such as beef, coffee, and Iraqi pears have been exempted from the new tariffs. A catastrophic wildfire in Ontario has blanketed the city of Toronto in a toxic orange haze, plunging air quality indexes to extremely hazardous level. The environmental crisis has not only crossed into the northern United States, but has also mirrored similar climate disaster in North Africa, Algeria. Dense smoke from the northwestern Ontario turned the afternoon sky into an eerie shade of the ember, distractedly dropping visibility across major Canadian cities like Thunder Bay. Environment Canada reported that the air quality health in this surge passed the critical threshold of the train, prompting urgent warnings for vulnerable groups. Currently, over 835 active forest fires are burning across Canada.